felt this sense of mourning, like I'd lost something that for so many years you take for granted. Suddenly you look in the mirror and it's a completely different person staring back at you.
I felt like no one had kind of accepted me and everyone had kind of judged me, and having the condition kind of took me from being at a certain level to literally rock bottom.
People don't like to talk about it, and it makes you anxious, which in turn then leads to stress, which then in turn leads to depression, which then makes your hair not come back.
I think a lot of people are kind of able to pinpoint why they think their alopecia started, you know, whether it be sort of stress or a certain moment or anything like that. But for me, at that point in my life, I was quite carefree. Like I lived at home, so I didn't have any bills or rent to pay, and I'd just finished university, so I didn't have any exams or anything like that. Nobody died, nobody had broken up with me. I was happy. I actually have this really vivid memory of my 22nd birthday being out in a club, and I just ran my fingers through my hair and just pulled out this huge clump of hair, and I just didn't really know what that meant. So I went to the doctors and they told me it is alopecia, and I'd never heard of that before. I didn't know what it was or what it meant, and it was about 6 weeks later that I'd lost all of my hair.
I first discovered about my alopecia when I was 17 years old. I started off with a little 10-pence piece, bald patch at the back of my head. I remember really early on in the condition having a bath, getting out of the bath and looking, and the bath was completely full of hair. I lost all of my hair over the course of 3 to 4 weeks. It was very sudden and very shocking.
I first had alopecia when I was about 11, when I started senior school, and it was all around exam time. And then when I got married, I had a few patches, but you could never see because I had really big hair at the time, so you couldn't see that. This time has been 18 years, so I was about 32, 33, and this is the most severe that it's been. When I was working in a bank, we got raided and made me anxious and stressed, and it just started coming out that time from there.
I found it really hard to talk to people about it at the start because I just thought, well, these people aren't going to want to be my friends anymore, no one's going to want to date me, and how am I ever going to be fine with this? How am I going to feel comfortable with it? And how are people going to look at me the same and not think, oh, that's going to be my, associating thing, like, oh, that's the bald girl. It's like I didn't want that to be the only thing that people thought about. I have days where I think, oh, I've beaten this and I'm all right with it. And then I have others where I just think I'm probably never going to leave the house again because, someone is going to notice or talk to me or ask me questions, and I just can't deal with that right now.
I used to have to gel my hair down so no one could see the bald patches, and I used to have to cover it up a lot, and especially from my friends, I didn't really tell anyone about it. Just wanted to hide it. I remember going back to college for second year. I was in the basketball academy. I loved playing basketball, and literally went up to my coach and I was like, I'm quitting. I can't do this. I can't let people see me how I was. Because the previous year before we finished, there was a team photo of us all, and you could just see my hair falling out the back, and that thing was up there the whole time I was at college. I could not get it removed. It was a very hard time because I just went into a deep depression with it. I just very much just isolated myself, and yeah, it's kind of difficult.
The most frustrating thing for me is trying all the treatments, and some of them are brutal. They really make you feel bad. And then people not understanding why you don't want to carry on with that treatment, and also having people say, well, it's only hair. My hair was always my crowning glory. It's the one thing I got loads of compliments on because it was always shiny. If you're having a bad hair day, you don't feel right yourself. When you've got alopecia, you're having a bad hair day every day. Sometimes you get that feeling that you're not who you truly are, that you're hiding. You're hiding behind a wig or you're hiding behind a hat because it's not your hair.
Friends and family never saw me without a hat on. I just basically used to hide it from everybody. And I got to a point one day at work, I just literally took it off and I was like, this is it, this is how it's got to be. And that was a really big step for me.
people have this perception that you get a wig and then you're fine about it, but people forget that you come home at the end of the day to wearing a wig and makeup and eyelashes all day, and you take it off and then there's suddenly a totally different person in front of you. It wasn't until sort of February of this year that I have actually been outside of my house without wearing a wig, unless it was during times of regrowth, which was obviously like slightly different, and even then I often wore headwear for quite a bit of it. So, you know, it's taken me a long time to get to that point. I think the most frustrating thing for me about having alopecia is just how unpredictable the whole condition can be. When it's in its shedding stage, it's really hard because you can like pull clumps of it out and you just find it all over your clothes and in the shower and everywhere, and I just found that too distressing, and I thought it was easier if I could just shave it all off and sort of start again from scratch.
It could be it. It could never come back. Or if you're one of the lucky ones, it will come back. No one knows. It's so unpredictable. Mine's come back twice and it's gone twice. So you can never say never.
My thought process has always been, if I can help someone else like I didn't have the help initially, then that's what I want to do.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. Today we're going to be talking about alopecia. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat.
When I started making videos on YouTube, I was like, I'm putting myself out there for everyone to see. I've got to be transparent with people. I've got to say, look, I have alopecia. This is what it is. And then that way I feel like I'm helping other people with alopecia. Alopecia UK have really helped me through this journey. I discovered them on social media and decided to run a half marathon for them because I wanted to do my bit. I wanted to help out with them.
Someone said to me there was different support groups, so I thought, well, I'll try it. And obviously Alopecia UK come up, which was great. I didn't post anything to start with. I would just read other people's comments, how they were feeling, and then the advice that they got. And then they said that they were having a big weekend, and it was in Birmingham. So I said to Keith, my husband, do you fancy coming along with me? And he said, yeah, of course. And it was the best thing I ever did. In all the years that I've had alopecia, I've never spoken to anyone else with alopecia. So it was just so nice to know that I'm not on my own and there is support out there. There's people that can help you. When I left there, I was determined that I was going to go and join the gym and I was going to go without my hair. And that's the first thing I did. 4 of my friends met me in the car park of the gym and we all walked in there together and they didn't bat an eyelid. It was great.
I've worked at Alopecia UK since February of 2018, and it's definitely the best decision that I've ever made. Like, I'm loving working there. It's helped me, you know, just in my confidence in my life, and I feel this like great sense of satisfaction every day and going in, and even if it's just, you know, talking to somebody on the phone, to know that I could have been that person at one point and still can be that person. You know, I could still quite easily, you know, need someone to talk to. We do a lot of events, which I went to my first event in April where we went to Alton Towers, and there was over 300 of us, and you just see this sea of blue up across the park, which is just amazing.
I didn't know anybody, and it was just like walking through, and you just see all these people with like bald heads and scarves and stuff like that, and it's just the craziest experience. You just instantly feel safe.
And all the kids kind of just finding someone who looks like them and just realising that that's okay. And it's just such a lovely thing to sort of be seeing.
I think if I'd found Alopecia UK earlier, my journey would have been completely different. I think I would have come to terms with it a lot quicker, but I didn't know it was there.
Everybody who has alopecia, I would say, understands that there's a slight element of how your mental health is going to take that. It's not just a cosmetic issue, it is the psychological side of everything as well, and how you handle that massive change in your life. My communication with my doctor, everything got easier once I met other people who have the condition too. Don't struggle alone, and realise that there's a lot of people out there who are willing to, you know, give you some fantastic peer support.
I like to think that for me having this condition, it's made me a stronger individual. At the end of the day, in my eyes, you are who you are. Hair does not define you as a person. Everyone's got those confidence issues with something about themselves, but it's just very important to be true to yourself.
Sometimes we are too hard on ourselves, and I think now, although I'm not saying that, again, I wouldn't take my hair back in an instant, because I would, but I think I'm certainly a lot more accepting of who I am, and therefore a lot happier.
I don't want people to treat me differently. I just want people to accept that I have alopecia, I haven't got any hair, but I, as a person, haven't changed.
I am who I am. I can't change it, and to be honest, if I could, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd go back to having hair, and this is me, I'm Tom. This is who I am.